All right, so we have a bunch of Cyberpunk news to talk about, official stuff from CD Projekt Red. Plus, we're going to be talking about the free DLC. We've got some new updates as to what we can expect from that. Plus, we're going to be talking about another Cyberpunk open world game coming up here, Vigilance 2099, which is going to be offering a third-person perspective. We have a brand new gameplay trailer from them and a new update from the Vigilance team. So let's dive in. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open world games here. Hope you're doing good. And yes, we're talking about all things Cyberpunk open world gaming goodness. First of all, starting with Cyberpunk 2077. Check this out right here. They released a hotfix for Cyberpunk on PC. It removes the use of AVX instruction set from the game executable, which prevents crashes that occurred on older processors not supporting AVX. Now, game version is not changed by this hotfix and remains version 1.3. So it's not like a considerable update. It's just a simple hotfix, and it should help for those of you that are on older rigs, run Cyberpunk without a lot of crashes. That's going to be the idea behind that update. So that's going to be super helpful for those of you that perhaps are struggling with running the game. Now, check this out. This one comes from Forbes. It goes on to say the following. Here are the 14 remaining free Cyberpunk DLCs still coming. And this is what the article goes on to say. It says, well, it seems pretty clear that next-gen version of Cyberpunk 2077 is not going to be out this year, even if that remains CD Projekt Red's target. And I agree with that one. Now, it says that leaves us with really only one thing to expect: the continued release of free DLC for the game that began with patch 1.3. Furthermore, it says this right here, that gave us our first 3 pieces of free DLC and at the same time confirmed a previously data mined list of at least the names of the DLC. Here is that list updated with new information based on what has been released and what we might expect now. So this gives us a really good indication as to what's coming up here before expansion pack 1, just to get us through to that point. It goes on to say this: DLC 1 is going to be possible smart weapon pack. Then of course we have J poses. Now previously they believed this to be something having to do with photo mode poses, but considering the other J signifier in the past ended up being something for Johnny, a new look, it's possible this is linked to him instead. So it could be, I don't know, he might have new poses. Let me know what you guys think of that one, but I never thought that they would focus on like any type of DLC or free DLC related to some of these companion characters based on feedback from the community. But anyway, we have this one where it says likely a Kabaki market gig. We have DLC 4. This was the patch 1.3 Quartz Bandit car gifted to players if they sided with Rogue over Pan Am during an early story quest. And this is really noteworthy because it turns out a lot of the data mining stuff is coming true with the free DLC. So we could really look at this data mining list as really potential free DLCs coming up here. Now, of course, we have the DLC 5 jackets. This was the set of 2 jackets released in 1.3 that Vince sends to your stash. DLC 6 apart is going to be possible apartment customization, which I really hope that pans out to be true. That'll be really, really cool. Of course, we have this one, possible power weapon pack. We have the mirror. Now it says, I thought these may be additional mirror poses or best case scenario way to alter your appearance. On the 1.3 patch stream, it was shown off that V will actually change her appearance, or excuse me, expression properly in the mirror, but I don't think that's what this was referring to, as that was more of a bug fix. I still think it's going to be some sort of way to customize your appearance through the mirror. Then we have a likely new gig right here as well. So several gigs in the free DLC. I don't expect to be anything like mind-blowing. Then we have DLC 10 Monster. This was really curious, but I think Forbes is right about this as well. It says, given the release of the Quartz Bandit, my guess remains that this is the only other thing on the list that sounds like a potential new car. I highly doubt it's something like a monstrous boss on the map somewhere, although that'd be very different. And the only way I could see them pulling off like a boss that's an actual monster through some sort of alternate reality type thing or augmented reality. I know Watch Dogs mess with that, but I think it's more correct to say that this would likely be a new car. Now we have DLC 11J look. The hope was that this would be a way to change V's look. Instead, this was the 1.3 patch DLC that gives an alternate look to Johnny, a worse look by all accounts, even the CD Projekt Red dev who presented it. Wow, I remember that and I was like, I have no words. Then we have this one right here. DLC 12 in finish, likely melee finisher animations. The Witcher 3 got these, so it makes sense that they would go with that. Then we have DLC 13, possible tech weapon pack. And then we have, of course, the gig right there, another gig as well. So, you know, weapons for me and cars, yes, please. Really would love to see that. Then we have New Game Plus, very clearly the New Game Plus, which hopefully comes with those higher difficulty settings. Then we have a likely Japantown gig, possible blunt weapon pack as well. So it would make sense that they would have, you know, melee-centric stuff in the game, considering that they are trying to build up on that, it seems, through finishers and then blunt pack. So we'll see what happens with that in the future. Now, also, let's talk a little bit about another upcoming open world Cyberpunk third-person game, and this one is Vigilance 2099. We have a new update from the dev team, and you are seeing a brand new gameplay trailer. This is running on the Unreal Engine version 5, and it's looking really, really good. I'm really hyped about this one. It seems like a lot of people are. Goes on to say this, Vigilance 2099 is currently at 10,000 plus wish list in less than a week, and this is on Steam. It says, thank you, we are working hard on the final gameplay trailer for Kickstarter, wishlist on Steam. So yeah, they're right now working on a new trailer, and it seems like this game is very much in the prototype phase, considering they haven't even gotten into the Kickstarter yet. But it appears, considering the hype regarding the game, I think that they're taking a little bit more seriously, and it looks like this company here is going to be helping them publish the game or something. We'll see what happens with that one. Now, back to Cyberpunk 2077. We have this thread right here from the community talking about a subject that's been going around in the community for quite some time, and that is the fact that a lot of people feel like the addition of Keanu Reeves later in development impacted the game in a very negative manner. We have this thread right here. It says, more and more I see people blaming Keanu for the state of the game. It says, might be a little rant, so please bear with me. And it says, and it's disgusting for gamer God's sake. He is just an actor. He did his best to do what he is good at. It was not his decision to be included late, even if it's the case. You know, he's 100% right. And then you also have to remember, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's some teaser trailers up right now for the new Matrix movie. It's called Matrix Resurrections, I believe it is. And you go to the website and you have the red pill and the blue pill, and you get to choose one, and there's going to be teaser trailers for each one of those. I'm so hyped for this new Matrix movie, you have no idea. But this thread here goes into the fact that, yeah, it seems like there's a group out there within the Cyberpunk community that are putting blame on the fact that CD Projekt Red decided to add Keanu later in the game. That is up to the developers, of course, to do that. I'm sure that it changed the game in significant ways, of course, that they wanted to have him prevalent throughout a lot of the experience, and I think that's why you saw a lot of the delays, but it certainly did not explain some of the gameplay design decisions, you know, the glitches that were present in the game as well. So yeah, there's no way you could place full blame on that one decision, choosing such a great actor. Now, let's go over your top comments based on my most recent Cyberpunk video. Let's do this. It was called, this one right here, Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher 4 updates. AAA studio uses CD Projekt Red as an example. Witcher 4 release date. So we have some you know, new ideas on when Witcher 4 could be releasing. It looks like it's anywhere from 2025 to 2026. I know that seems like so far away, but it's likely that development of Witcher 4 would truly start beginning in 2022. And they're probably perhaps in the prototype phases for The Witcher 4 and getting things, running, at least right now. But right now, officially, what CD Projekt has said is they're wholeheartedly focused on the next-gen version of Cyberpunk 2077, and of course, updating the game and the expansion pack 1. Now let's get into what you guys had to say about all of this. Austin Trammell says, it's weird how CD Projekt Red completely bungled one AAA game's development, so their solution for the next game is to work on 2 games at the same time. Yeah, here's the thing. They look at the spreadsheet at the end of the year. Did they make money or not? Guess what? They are profitable. It comes down to that right now, and that's just the way companies operate a lot of the times, and right now they put themselves in such an awkward position. However, just because they're profitable, it's not good they lost so much worth with their stock value. That is just not good whatsoever. So that's something that they're definitely going to have to build up. And of course, they really, really want to repair their image with the community and repair Cyberpunk 2077, perhaps do No Man's Sky. We'll have to see. But yeah, of course, they're going to try doing this parallel game development for 2 AAA titles. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. We'll see what happens. They've got a lot on their plate. It looks like they want to do Witcher 4, Cyberpunk, then they want to do online, and then mobile stuff. And, some of these companies get so ahead, in my opinion. But anyway, we have Mustang0524 who says, while Crimson Desert looks amazing, there ain't no way it's going to look like that when it releases with all those environmental effects. Nah, yeah, you know what? It looks like they were running on like some sort of major PC. So we'll see what happens with that. I have my doubts as well. You guys know it's better to keep your expectations lower so you're not disappointed in anything. But anyway, we have Steven who says this right here, The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine ending, where Regis, I think it is, says, we need a rest, and Geralt agrees and smiles directly at you, and you knowing it's the end. Yep, I hear ya. That's one game I never really got to play, the Blood and Wine DLC. Would love to try that. Now, Glenn says this, Cyberpunk needs to be the game CD Projekt Red advertised before I consider giving them any more money. Witcher 3 was amazing, but you're only as good as the last thing you did, and Cyberpunk was and still is unfinished. And again, a lot of the studio is working on Cyberpunk Next Gen and expansion, so hopefully they can turn out some sort of miracle. Now, William says this, the Witcher 4 release date math, advertised release date plus delays, however long it takes to make the game run properly with mini patches equals actual release date. Absolutely. You have to coincide even like the team morale after Cyberpunk, people leaving and going, hiring new team members, training people. There's a lot of stuff with the Witcher 4 release date that you have to consider. Also considering that veteran, talent has left the studio as well that is familiar with The Witcher. Now, that's why it's so good that CD Projekt Red in turn has hired modders that are intimately familiar with their engine. So hopefully, maybe they can have modders immediately help out with, The Witcher 4 instead of waiting, but we'll see. But there it is, guys, the latest happenings around Cyberpunk 2077. We also talked about Vigilance 2099, another one that I'm really looking forward to. It's looking really, really sharp from the gameplay trailers that they have released. We'll see what happens with it, of course. It looks like it's very much in the prototype stage, but I love the visuals behind this one so far. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.